Welcome back everybody to Susie's Sweet Treats. Today we're going to be baking a creamy white chocolate cheesecake, and as you can see it's a perfect cheesecake, no cracking. I'll give you all the tips and tricks on how to make that happen. So let's go get baking. Alright everybody, so tonight we're making a super creamy white chocolate cheesecake. So to begin, we're going to make the crust. For the crust, we're going to use Lorna Doone shortbread cookies. You can also use graham crackers if you would like, but tonight we're using the Lorna Doone shortbread cookies. I put them in a Ziploc bag to smash them up, and then I just use my rolling pin to get them all smashed. You could use a food processor and pulse it a couple of times. So just bear with me while we get these all smashed up. Alright, so the cookies are all mashed. And instead of dirtying another dish, I just mix everything in the bag. And the other ingredient that we need is approximately 6 tablespoons of butter. And that's melted. And that's what's going to form your crust. So I just put it in the bag and mix it around until I know that the cookies are all coated with that butter. So that's all mixed together. So I have a 9-inch springform pan, and we're going to line it. So you take a piece of parchment paper and I fold it into a triangle, and that way I can cut it to fit in the pan. And I only layer for the bottom of the pan. That way when the cheesecake is done and comes out of the pan, it's easier to take it completely out. And then that's what you get left with. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and dump our crumbs into the pan. And of course, I've already washed my hands prior to beginning. And we're going to go and we're going to even the crumbs out, and we're going to press them down. And we're going to go up the sides a little. And we're going to use our container that we melted the butter in and press, and that way you get a nice stuck together crust. Perfect. Lucy. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pop this into a preheated oven of 350 degrees for 10 minutes. And then once that's done, we'll go ahead and remove it from the oven and allow it to cool until it's warm, and in the process we'll get the cheesecake batter mixing. So again, 350 degree preheated oven for 10 minutes. Okay, so to make the cheesecake filling, we're going to take 3 blocks of cream cheese that has been at room temperature. You want all of your ingredients at room temperature. The little secret is room temperature ingredients and not to incorporate too much air to prevent the cracking of the cheesecakes when they bake. So 3 bricks of cream cheese. Then we're going to take a half a cup, and you can use either Greek style yogurt or you can use sour cream. So for me, I'm using sour cream tonight because that's what I have on hand. Let me grab a spatula. And again, everything is completely at room temperature. So with those 2 ingredients, we're going to take a balloon whisk and we're going to get these 2 stirred together until they're combined. And I may just need to revert to my spatula. Because I'm not liking how the whisk is mixing. So just bear with me for a second while I get the stuff off of here. Alright, so we're going to just switch over to the spatula. Alright, those 2 are mixed well together. So the next ingredient is sugar, and with the sugar, it's only a half a cup, and that's just granulated sugar. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And then we're going to mix those 2 together until it's combined and smooth. that's what it should look like right now at this stage. The next task is the vanilla. You can either use vanilla bean paste or regular vanilla. I don't have any vanilla bean paste, so I'm just using my extract that I make myself. And get that mixed in. All right. So the vanilla is mixed in. Now we're going to add the eggs, and it's going to be 3 eggs, 3 large eggs. Again, all at room temperature. We're going to mix them one at a time, and we're going to make sure that we mix well after adding each one. So the first egg's going in. And again, you're just stirring until it's combined, not adding too much air into the mixture. So, second egg going in. And once we're done dealing with the eggs, we'll wash our hands before we continue. That's the crust in the oven. So let's go ahead and pull that out. And that's what the crust is going to look like when it comes out of the oven, nice and golden. We're going to let it sit over here and cool. And while we do that, we're going to drop the temperature down on the oven to 285 degrees, because when we go to bake the cheesecake, we're going to bake it at 285 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, so the second egg is in. So now we're going to get the third egg. And the third egg goes in. So this is almost and that's what it's going to look like once all the eggs are added. Now we're going to add the melted chocolate. So it's actually a total of 10.5 ounces of a good quality white chocolate, and I've melted it. So let's go ahead and get that added in. Because again, this is a white chocolate cheesecake. Not your typical normal run-of-the-mill. Go ahead and use our spatula and scrape the rest of the chocolate out of the cup here. And for my white chocolate, I'm just using some good old Ghirardelli. Let's get this mixed together. all nice and mixed. Looks good. It's nice and smooth. So our next task, we're going to go ahead and add the cheesecake filling to the slightly cooled cheesecake crust, and then we're going to smooth out the top. Okay, so there's the slightly cooled crust. We're going to go ahead and pour our cheesecake filling into the crust. And make sure that there we go, that the top is even. And we're going to go ahead and put this into our preheated 285-degree oven for about an hour and 10 minutes, or until the edges are fully set and it's slightly puffed up, and in the middle it's still wobbly when you gently shake it, but it'll take about an hour and 10 minutes. So once the baking is done, I'll bring you back and show you the end result. All right, there's the cheesecake. It baked for 1 hour and 10 minutes. As you can see, the edges are slightly puffed up, and when you shake the pan, the center is still a little jiggly, which is what you want. So now we're going to turn off that oven, and we're going to leave the door slightly ajar until the cheesecake becomes cool to room temperature. Once the cheesecake is cooled to room temperature, we'll go ahead and put it in the refrigerator and refrigerate it for at least a minimum of 4 hours. And then once that's done, we'll take it out of the pan and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so here's the cheesecake. It was in the oven, room temperature, until it got to room temperature after baking. Then it went into the refrigerator to finish chilling. It chilled overnight in the refrigerator. So let's go ahead and unveil. And there's the cheesecake. So let's go ahead and get this onto a plate and get a slice, and we'll be right back. All right, so the cheesecake is done. When you're slicing your cheesecake, dip your knife in hot water, wipe it off, and then make the slice. Keep doing that each slice that you make, and it'll come out clean and perfect every time. Again, white chocolate cheesecake, the texture should be nice, smooth, creamy, like velvet with a hint of chocolate in it. Absolutely perfect. Give me a thumbs up if you'd like to see more recipes like this. Hit that subscribe button so that you'll know when I post another video. Leave me a comment of what else you'd like me to make for you. See you around.